Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or wherever you may be joining me from. Welcome back to Too Ambitious. I am so happy that you all are joining me this morning. Let me know in the comments where you were joining me from. I'm in California, the great Golden State, and I know that the weather is starting to warm up. It's been cold the last couple of weeks, but I've even heard the New Yorkers are even saying, "Hey, it's getting warm." So let me know how your weather is doing, so drop me some love in the comments. Let me know how happy you are to see me, because I know you're happy to see me, right? Anyway, happy Women's History Month to us all the extraordinary women in your lives, in my life. I am so grateful to be a woman, and divinely so as well. So today, I have another extraordinary guest on the show, as you could probably imagine, and she is absolutely wonderful. We have not met in person yet, but I'm telling you, the stars are going to align and it's going to happen. So, if you're joining me, sit tight. Let me tell you more about my guest today. So, joining me today on Too Ambitious is California licensed attorney Liku T. Amadi, Esquire. I love saying that, by the way. She is the CEO founder of Anasa Law Firm. Her expertise is to help consultants and service providers feel good about their business by ensuring they have the contracts for legal protection and sustainable growth. We love that. Now, a little bit about Liku. She graduated magna cum laude from Thomas Jefferson School of Law and had the honor of serving as the first Black editor-in-chief on California's first all-Black woman law review board. Amazing. Now, if you're a small business owner or a consultant, get your coffee ready, get your matcha ready. I don't drink coffee, I do matcha. Because guess what? We have a lawyer in the house. So please show her some love, light up the comments. Let's give Liku some love. Welcome, Liku.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. I'm over here in the back, like, okay, getting hyped up. Thank you for having me, Trish.
Of course, I'm so happy to have you here. I speak to a lot of entrepreneurs, founders across the country, and I will say that you are the first lawyer that I've had on. So,
Hey.
hey, So we are super excited to have you here because we are going to learn a lot from you, about everything that we need to do to make sure our business are, legally compliant. But first up, tell me in your own words, tell me about the work that you do at Anasa Law Firm.
Yes. At Anasa Law Firm, my aim is to make business owners feel good when it comes to the legal aspects of their business. So I work with consultants and expert service providers, such as coaches and strategists, to make sure they have a solid legal foundation while they're doing business. My bread and butter is client contracts because that's how people make their money, is via their clients, right? So we want to make sure we have that intact. And I also help my clients with intellectual property protection. So those signature strategies and methods that they put together to serve their own clients, we make sure that's protected so they can leverage those in the future.
Okay. All the stuff that you need, when you're starting your business, now I know for you, being a business owner, as a lawyer, now when people think of a lawyer, they think, oh, they're going to like work for some big high powered firm and they're going to do all the things, was that your truth? Did you work for one of those big law firms and have the suit and you walking in and everything like that?
Yeah, I
I
did.
love
I worked for two firms,
it. Okay.
and it was. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my corporate experience. I learned a lot from the attorneys who were there. I learned a lot with my clients. There was a huge opportunity for me to get to work with clients directly, one-on-one, versus what they tell us in law school. Like we're going to just be doing a lot of grunt work and paper
Yeah.
pushing, which was true, but I also got a lot of just face time and direct interaction and
Mm.
strategy in helping clients too. So, yeah, that's the typical view of the legal industry. So I got to experience some of that.
Yeah, I think that, obviously you got some really great foundational experience, working at those firms to go off on your own. What made you decide to, say, hey, I'm leaving those law firms behind post graduation to go off on your own, and as they say, hang your own shingle, if you will.
Man, in law school, I was like, I'm never going to start my own law firm. I'm going to go to a big law firm, collect this check, pay off
Right.
my student loans, right?
Yeah.
Like I knew it was going to be a grind. And I did love my, not love, appreciate my corporate experience, but
Right.
there are ultimately three reasons why I left to start my own
Okay.
shop. Number one, my mental health was slowly but surely
Mm,
just being in a high pressure environment and requiring perfectionism of myself while dealing with the unique experience of being a Black woman in such an industry where there's not too many of us, that was really weighing down on me. And that's something
right.
that I slowly started to realize, even though I was doing good work. So that's one important piece was my quality of life.
Mm,
Second, when I was working, when I got the chance to work with business owners, because it wasn't always business transactions, I was realizing like some of the clients weren't really walking away like, okay, we got this fixed, we're good to go, let's hit the
right.
ground running. They were like, I know I'm gonna have to come back, or they weren't getting complete solutions. And there
Right.
was a little bit of a, I don't know if you want to call it politics, or the way it goes is like, we help you with this for this specific amount of time. Maybe,
Right.
you got 5 hours for it. And if the business owner doesn't have money for an additional 5, 10 hours to get the second part of the solution, like they are expected to come back when trouble hits
Yeah.
again, right? And that's more money. And I just thought that was a terrible way to exercise such a powerful skill set and
Right.
expertise. Like the law is supposed to be the backbone of our country. So to almost weaponize it like that, I just didn't appreciate those few circumstances where that
Mm,
happened. And that's not how I wanted to practice law. I
right.
wanted to practice law in a way that made people feel good. Like, okay, I'm protected. I got my legal ducks in a row. Now this is what I can do moving forward, right? And then
Yeah.
the third piece is the pandemic, which
Mm,
I feel like
yes.
just changed things for so many people. But for me, it was realizing like I could be gone like this, my job could be gone like this, and this is not how I want to live
Yeah.
life, right?
Yeah.
This is not the quality of life I wanted. I wanted to be a mother at the time, and I was just like, this isn't how I want to enter motherhood. Like, I need
Right.
to be healthy, I need to be intact. So maybe I should start my own shop because this right here isn't worth it. And at the time, I was like, I don't care how much they pay me.
Yeah.
It's not worth staying. So I decided to go out on my own. And I was pregnant at the time when I left. So I've
Mm,
definitely been building a law firm and building a family. Baby number two is turning 1 next month.
wow.
You might hear her goo goo gaga in the background.
Too
Yeah.
cute. Love
But yeah,
it.
that's been my experience. And I always thought, like, if this doesn't work out, I can always go back, or I can go be a carpenter. I could go open a bakery. Like, this isn't the end all be all. So it was
Right.
worth the risk.
Yeah. Well, kudos to you for recognizing that, you need to take care of your mental health and it didn't align with your values and where you wanted to go for yourself and your family, you know. What was the most challenging thing once you said, "Okay, I'm going off on my own," you know?
How much time do we have again? If
Story of every entrepreneur, right?
right? I'm like, we got a list. But I actually heard on an episode, I think it was Jasmine Williams. I
Mhm.
heard her say this, and I have the same answer as the mindset, going from an employee mindset to a business owner mindset. Once I
Right.
realized like there was a shift, things got easier. But before I realized that I was operating the same as being an employee, right? Thinking that, and we grow up like this, right?
Yeah.
We have a
Yeah.
schedule when we go to school, we get awarded and, clapped for when we do good things, and we get demoted. And like,
Right.
there are all of these things, and that carries on into the workplace and our careers as well. And I was like, more time equals more money. The harder
Yeah.
I work, the more I'm going to make. But as a business owner, it's all about leverage. It's
Yeah.
all about you being able to leverage that time. So me spending 40, 80 hours a week doing actual, like, hands-on work is not what's going to grow my practice. It's me being able to take that time and, delegate to others or make sure my systems are aligned and right working on
Mhm.
the business versus working in the business. So that was a huge shift for me. And it also aligned with just how I viewed myself as a lawyer as well, trying to maintain that image, right, that I carried in corporate, people
Yeah.
expecting lawyers to be a certain way, me wanting to
Right.
align with that, and having to find my own image, my own definition of what it means to be a
Mhm.
professional and a lawyer and wanting to help people a certain way, right? Like feel good, like I've been saying, versus
Yeah.
having them feel scared or still fearful that they would have to come back or there's some type of issue or they just don't have that security. And as a business owner, there's already so many things that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
And legal shouldn't be one of them, especially when it's something that's supposed to protect you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I listen, I love your mindset. I think that, for a lot of small business owners, including myself, that is part of the fear is that, you may get a lawyer or get a law firm to do X, Y, and Z. And, you end up doing that one thing. And then they're like, okay, well, it's going to cost another gazillion dollars if you want this. And you're like, oh, man. So to that point you don't feel confident
Yeah.
in what you're doing. So I appreciate that there are lawyers like you who exist, and maybe you're the only one. So I mean, we're just gonna have to go ahead and claim it. You're probably the only one. But tell me how you work with your clients. How do you structure your business? I know you work with service providers and consultants.
Mhm.
So how does that work? And why did you only work with consultants and service providers?
Yeah, I starting my business during the pandemic, right?
Right.
And pregnant, like I was not going outside and networking. Everything was virtual. So I
Yeah.
was meeting a lot of service providers who ran their businesses online, coaches, consultants, strategists in a variety of industries for a variety of expertise. So I was working with a lot of them, and I really liked it. So I kind of just doubled down on working with them, mainly because of the diversity in expertise. Like
Ah,
I've worked with people who do diversity and inclusion related work to psychological safety to rest practices. I'm like, rest coach, rest consultant, like, this is really
yeah.
interesting. I've worked with people who do marketing, right? Business strategy and operations. So there's just a really diverse set of expertise out there in this service-based industry. And then
Mhm.
how everyone does it too is really different. So
Yeah.
everyone has their own signature approach or signature method that they help their clients with. And
Right.
I'm excited because not only do I get to learn about these things, but I also get to dive in and help them problem solve and be creative and how we can tighten things up or other things to
Mm.
consider. I'm working currently with an education coach. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, an academic coach right now, and
Mhm.
her and her team work like one-on-one with K through 12 students. K through 12, I believe. Yes, K through
Yeah.
12 students. And, they help them hone in their skills when it comes to, getting their homework done, getting their work done. But also her team does consulting for the school district and,
Mhm.
college organizations and master's programs and physical therapy practices where they take their same approach and strategy and help them put together programs or refine the structure and how they're running their operations. And I'm just like, wow, you go from working with K through 12 one-on-one to
Yeah.
being able to help all of these other people. That's fascinating to me. So I love to be creative and help them problem solve and figure out what protections they need now so they can expand in that manner,
Yeah.
make more money and work less.
I love that, and I think that it sounds to me like you're a creative too, which is kind of cool. And we'll definitely talk about that probably another time. But I feel like you're a creative too. You can usually tell, especially with I've had like finance people and people who use that left brain muscle, but I feel like you're a creative too. I feel like you got something in there too.
Absolutely.
because you're typically drawn to other creatives as well. So I love that. So when should a business owner seek out an attorney? And what type of questions should they be asking someone like you when they're getting their business off the ground?
At the outset, you should seek an attorney, like, when you have that business idea and you're like, "I'm going for it," start
Okay.
thinking like, "I need an attorney to talk to."
Okay.
And people usually think that you need to be in business for like 5 or 10 years before you talk to an attorney. You
Yeah.
need to make a certain amount of money before you're talking to an attorney, or
Yeah.
even when you do talk to an attorney, you have to pay them, 5,000 for an hour, have them on a monthly retainer of $10,000 or a cajillion, like you said earlier,
Mhm.
right? But those things are not true at all.
Yeah.
It is so simple and beneficial to just find an attorney and say, "Hey, can I book a 20-minute call with you?"
Right.
Right? Some attorneys will do it for free. Some attorneys, yeah, you do have to pay their hourly fee, but there's a variety of attorneys and you can find
Right.
someone who fits your budget. But just sitting down and saying, "Hey, this is what I have planned, right? This is
Mhm.
what I want to do. These are my goals. This is where I am now. What risks are associated with my current plan? What
Right.
should I not do right now? What should I do right now? Is there anything else I need to look out for? If my plans in 12 months are to do X, Y, and Z, what can I do now to make sure I'm positioned for that? What are my next steps,
Mhm.
right? And those quick conversations go such a long way because as a business owner, not only are you able to make decisions from an informed place, right? Because you've talked to a lawyer, you've got
Mhm.
advice, like you're good to go, right? You make sure that you're not making certain mistakes because an expert has already told you what you need to do and shouldn't do. So you have that informed decision making power, right? You feel empowered. And then
Yeah.
you also feel good because you're not walking around like, am I going to get sued? Is this gonna result in a lawsuit? Did I just breach this? My
Yeah.
client's not paying me. So does
Right.
that mean now I gotta, send them a demand letter? Like you don't
Right.
have those things just clouding your judgment or just like a monkey on your back. You know what I'm saying? Like you feel good. You have clarity in what you're doing. And I always suggest like establish a relationship with an attorney. Like
Okay.
checking in with them like once a quarter, asking the same questions. Hey, Liku, right? Or whoever other attorney you're talking to, like,
Yeah.
here's where I am now. Like, what should I do? This is what I'm thinking. What should I consider? Like, those things really go a long way. And then
Yeah.
when your business gets to the point, or if your business gets to the point, because every business is different and you may not need an attorney on retainer, then yeah, you can have them on retainer. You can
Yep.
build out a whole legal department to make sure, your huge operation is protected and running smoothly. But
Right.
ultimately, just find someone to talk to, even if it's 20 minutes every quarter, just so you're
Mhm.
always tapping in and
Yeah.
always on the up and up and being proactive
Yeah.
versus being on the defense, having to be reactive and not feeling good about where you're at when you're doing business.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes to all of that. So what you're saying is once the idea is formed, because I would think it's like after you get like if you're doing an LLC or S corp or something like that and or if your business, I don't know, it's like something like finance or something like that. Like I remember when I started my business, I was like, I don't really think I mean, I did my LLC. I don't really think I need anything, you
Mhm.
know. So that's the kind of thing I was thinking too, you know?
And
What do
that's
you think?
another thing, Trish, like, you don't know what you don't know,
Yeah,
right? Like, when it comes to me working with tax professionals or finance or even some of these business coaches and strategists that I've hired, I'm like, I don't know what I don't know. Let me go to who does know so they
yeah,
can tell me about myself and my business and what I need to do. So that's a huge part. And business owners, when they come to me, like when I'm working with my clients, they're like, I don't know, here's a contract I tried to put together, or I know I was supposed to do this. And I just tell them, like, it's okay. Like, you don't need to be embarrassed. Like, you don't need to feel like you're not doing things right. I don't know if Trish disappeared or I disappeared, but I'm going to keep going just in case. You should feel okay. You should feel like it's okay to go talk to an attorney and ask questions, whether you think the questions are stupid or you think they're not in the right place. Just ask those questions because you always want to be in a position where you're informed and have clarity about what is going on. Don't be ashamed of not knowing something. I'm the lawyer. I went to school. I'm the one who has the student loans. Like I have that expertise. You have your own expertise. Stay in your lane and make sure that you are talking to a lawyer or the finance professional, tax professional, coach, strategist, whoever it is. Okay, you're back.
I'm
Whoever it
back.
is that can help you. I didn't know if it was you or me, but I was like, let me just keep talking because tech be teching.
Yes, it does. I love that. Well, thank you for keeping it going. The funny thing is that I can hear you, but yeah, the internet like kicked out for a little bit. Gotta love technology.
Mhm.
But I love that you give such precise information and resources, especially for new business owners that are out there. What would you say are the top three things that a business owner needs to know or needs to do when they just start their business? What are the things that you're like, you have to do this, you have to do this, no way around it?
When you just start your business, I would definitely say get that LLC.
Okay.
People think that, again, you have to be making a lot of money or your business should be in a certain place. But the purpose of an LLC isn't to say I'm officially in business, it's to protect you from liability, right? People can go into business and have your first client. It could be your first client, right? They pay you $10,000, you coach them, or you do some type of strategy and you help them along. Maybe it doesn't pan out and they want their money back, or
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't pan out and there's some legal issues afoot and now you're not protected. That LLC gives you that protection. It separates your personal assets from your business assets. So even client number one, if something goes wrong and they come after you, now your personal assets are on the line. That's your salary, your stock, your car, your house, like whatever personal assets you have. So that's
Yeah.
the purpose of an LLC, is not to say like, all right, y'all, I'm in the game, we're official. Is to protect your assets. So I always tell people like get the LLC anyway. It varies the cost in your state. I think
Right.
California now is like 75. I think in Texas it's like $300. But compared to the value of your personal assets, like
Right.
it's a drop in the bucket. It's an investment worth making. It's not an expense. So that's definitely one thing. Top thing when people are starting their business. Number two is talk to an attorney, whether it's me, hello, or
Yay.
else, you want to just make sure, like I said earlier, that you're tapping in, that you're
Yeah.
understanding what's going on in your business. You have clarity. You're able to make decisions from the right place, because when you don't feel good about those legal aspects of your business, or you got the worry and the fear and the shame, and you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna just sweep this under the rug real quick.
Right.
Ultimately, that thing under the rug becomes a hump. You trip over it, you could fall, sprain your ankle, right? And we don't want those problems.
We
So
don't want that.
people feel better when they have clarity, when they
Yeah.
have that information. So definitely tap in with an attorney. Like I said, just 30 minutes once a quarter can go such a long, long way.
Yes. Yes.
And lastly, don't make assumptions. Right? Don't make assumptions about anything. Don't assume that you're all the way protected. Don't assume that you are on the right track or that you don't need to do something. Again,
Okay.
go get that information. And that's another mistake that I see people making, is because, again, it's not their fault, right?
Yeah.
They don't know what they don't know. The legal
Right.
industry doesn't do a good job of saying, hey, business owners, these are the legal ducks that you need to have in a row. It's more so of a, like, they expect you to react. They want you to be fearful. They expect you to
Yeah.
react, and so people act accordingly. They're like, I don't think I need to do anything. I'm not in.
Right.
It's been working so far, right?
Yeah.
Don't make those assumptions, because even if something's been working so far, it's always those little things. I say, like, lawsuits may not happen every day, but they are the result of things that happen every day. That means your policies, your operations, how you're working with clients, making sure that you have all of those things just tight and all your ducks in a row, right? Don't make assumptions, get clarity, get answers, get direction.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I know there are a lot of business owners probably like me who are like, yeah, I'm gonna, I love the way you break it down. And, you mentioned feel good a lot. And
Mhm.
I think that's great because I definitely feel good talking with you.
Mhm,
Um,
as you should.
what is your feel good approach? Because I'm sensing that that is why your clients keep coming back to you because of how you show up, how you make them feel, how you empower them in a way that probably a lot of other lawyers don't do.
Yeah, definitely feel good approach. I love that you say you feel good right now.
Yeah.
That's just a little taste, Trish.
Yeah.
And, but seriously, though, like I want them to feel like they're coming to me with their problems or their concerns, and that they can put them in my hands and just feel taken care of.
Yeah.
That's always what I've wanted with my law firm, is to make sure that people experience the luxury of being taken care of
Mm,
making sure that they feel good. So that is my approach, because it's very opposite from what we know about the legal industry,
yes.
right? Like, we think lawsuits, we think breach, we think, risk. And when we work with our clients, and we remember, like, clients are the ones who give us money, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is a relationship we need. We want to make sure with this relationship is protected and
Right.
intact. So
Right.
we want to take the approach where it's like, you're not against your client, right? Like, your
Yeah.
contract, for example, isn't a wall up that puts you on either side. It's a bridge, right?
Yeah.
It empowers a business owner to say, hey, here's my contract that explains how we're going to work together, what happens when we do this, the timeline, the policy. Here are my boundaries. I'm putting you on notice so that we can work together in a seamless fashion, right? So my approach is to to basically change my clients' minds. Like,
Yeah.
legal isn't just a formality. Legal isn't something you just check the box with. If you
Yeah.
do it right and you feel good about it, it's actually a powerful tool that you can use to streamline your operations, to
Yeah.
ensure you have solid client relationships, to get clients out the door faster and bring in more, expand your capacity. It's a justification for you to raise your prices, because not only
Mm.
have the authority as an expert, your stuff, but now as a service provider, which I think are two different things. Like, it's
Yeah.
one thing for you to be an expert and know and be good at what you do, but it's
Right.
another thing to deliver that in a service in a way that the client receives it and they're able to be benefited from what you do, right? It empowers them to be a service provider who leads their client, even if there's conflict, even if there's something that's going wrong. You can say, hey, okay, no problem. This is what we're going to do. This is
Yeah.
how we're going to adjust. Here's a solution, right? Not thinking like, all right, let me call my lawyer because now we're going to court. Like, nobody wants that. We want to
Nobody.
enjoy doing business. And again, the thing that's supposed to protect us is not making us feel good and
Mm.
feel good about the business that we're doing.
Oh my gosh. Well, you are dropping all kinds of knowledge on us today, Liku. This is amazing. And yeah, I was sharing your website here, and you got
Yes.
so many incredible client appreciation. You've got people say, I recently worked with Anasa Law Firm to put together my trademarks, and I couldn't be happier with the experience. I mean, this is gold. This is stuff that people are like, that some people pay for, but you have these authentic reviews from people. Liku Amadi Esquire is such a sharp professional and caring attorney that I thought I was her only client throughout the time we worked together. I mean, come on. That's amazing. That's amazing. And a testament to the work that you're doing with Anasa Law Firm, which, by the way, guys, means luxury in Swahili, so
Did your
I mean,
research. Did your
listen,
research. Yes, like I said, I
listen.
want people to feel like they're being taken care of. And that's when you have luxury experiences, right? When you wear champagne, I don't know if you're getting your toes down, but just like, you want to feel at ease, right? You want
Yes.
to feel at ease. So that's what I want my clients to experience.
Yes. Well, definitely. I mean, I'm not a client. yet, but I feel the luxury and the warmth, and the knowledge, it's very, I think the way you share information, I think is really relatable and easy to understand. It's not like a lot of jargon and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So so thank you for that. So we're coming up on our final moments here with you, Liku, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
But the question I love to ask, all my guests at the end is, would you consider yourself ambitious?
I mean, yes, I do. I
Okay.
do.
I mean,
I have dreams and then they turn into ideas, and I'm really good at just hitting the ground running and starting to execute. Sometimes it's not always a good thing because then I got like 5, 7 projects going on.
right.
However, I'm working on that, but I would consider myself ambitious.
I love that. And I expect nothing less. I mean, obviously everything that you've built and continue to build for yourself and your family. So kudos to you for that. Where can we find you and how can we work with you?
Yes, you just showed my website. That's a perfect spot to get in contact with me, anasalawfirm.com. You can always connect with me on LinkedIn as well.
Mhm.
LinkedIn is my jam. That's probably the
Mhm.
one social media I'm most active on. So send me a DM if you have questions, and I'm always happy to talk to people. And if I'm not the right fit, if you're looking for something else, still ask. I will tap into my network and make sure that you have what you need or at least a pathway to get there.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Liku. I appreciate you taking the time to share your knowledge and to share your wonderfulness with us.
Yay.
So
You.
thank you.
I
You know.
appreciate you having me on your platform. This has been a great conversation. So thank you for having me as a guest. I appreciate it.
You are so welcome. I learned a lot, and now I'm going to go ahead and put you on speed dial because we need to have it. So you take care of yourself, and to everyone watching, I'll see you next week for another episode of Too Ambitious, where I'll have another incredible woman on that you can learn from, and also who you need to spend your dollars with. I'm just saying.